What is happening, guys? So in this video, we're going to talk about an amazing business model called Amazon Wholesale, aka wholesale selling. And essentially what this is you're buying well-established brands and you're reselling them on popular platforms like Amazon, eBay, or Walmart.com. Now, let's go ahead and dive deep into this business model. This is one that I really do love because you're already selling products that are being sold. They're products that people are already looking for that don't require you to do all this marketing because they're already trusted brands that people are already buying every day. So that's why I love this business model. Let's go ahead and dive deep into it. So Amazon Wholesale at its core is a business model where sellers purchase products in bulk from manufacturers and distributors at a discounted price and then resell those products individually at a markup price. The model contrasts with private labeling, where sellers typically source generic products, brand them, and sell them under their own label. So one of the primary differences between selling wholesale and doing private labeling is selling wholesale is selling brands that are already established, brands like Nike's, Adidas, Dawn, and any other brand that is already well known. Now, private labeling is selling generic products and then having the manufacturers slap your brand on them, so you're selling them as if they are your own brand. Now, one of the primary differences from this as well is going to be that when you're outsourcing products that are already well established, you're purchasing from manufacturers or distributors that are US based. So a lot of the things that you're purchasing don't have long shipping times, or you don't have to worry about inventory quality or anything that has to do with international shipping. Unlike private label, when most of the people that do private labeling, whenever you outsource your products, you're outsourcing them internationally because it's a lot cheaper and there's just a lot more variety when it comes to picking your ideal products. And because of that, there's a lot more wait time, a lot more risk management when it comes to purchasing over, internationally, overseas, and all that good stuff. So wholesaling is a lot more easier to get started. It's less cost effective, but you still have to compete with other people that are selling the same products that you're selling, and there's a lot more competition versus private labeling when you're selling a product that is only unique to yourself. Yeah, there might be different variations of it from different brands or products, but if you can know how to market your brand in a certain way, then you will be the only person that's selling that specific item that has a unique selling point. So those are the primary differences between selling wholesale and private labeling. So how does wholesaling work? So essentially what you're doing is you're sourcing products, you're finding products from manufacturers and distributors, and you're purchasing them at a wholesale price, and then you're reselling them for more. A wholesale price might be like, you reach out to a manufacturer and you tell them, I want to buy, 40 of these Nikes, and they can be like, okay, well, these Nikes, they go for about $100 retail price, but if you buy 50 of them, we'll go ahead and get them to you for, $70. And the profit margins on there would be $30 each item. And essentially that's how it works when it comes to sourcing products. Once you find your product and you build that relationship with your manufacturer and you have everything set up, you're going to be listing those products on either pre-existing listings, or you're going to be creating the listing yourself so you can actually sell that product depending on whether or not someone has already created the listing for that product. Now 9 out of 10 times you're going to be selling off existing listings, so you're going to become an additional seller on those listings. So that's usually what the step is going to be: sourcing the product, listing the item, making sure that you send your products out to Amazon, or you provide the fulfillment for them, depending on what you do. If you send it out to Amazon, then Amazon FBA will go ahead and do all the work for you. They'll do inventory management. They'll provide that 2-day shipping. They'll make your item into a prime item, and it'll give you that prime edge. Or you can merchant fulfilled as well, where you send out the item yourself, which you can still do that as well, but you're not going to be able to provide that prime fulfillment. You're not going to be able to do that 2-day shipping, and it could also decrease the chances of someone wanting to buy your product because they don't have that prime feature. Now, after you do that, you make a sale and you make profits, and you just essentially repeat the process all over again. Find more products, list them again, have the selling and fulfillment set up, whether it's through Amazon or through yourselves, and then you just make more profits, and you just reinvest and keep doing it until you can pull from your profits while also being able to invest and grow your business. So that's essentially what it is, how it works. So why would you choose wholesale over a lot of other, different ways that you can sell on e-commerce versus like drop shipping, private labeling, and all these other things? Well, the biggest reason why you would want to sell wholesale is because it's established brand recognition. When you're selling products from established brands like Nike or Adidas, you're leveraging the trust and recognition those brands already built. They've already spent years and years and millions of dollars marketing those products, so they're already sold. People just got to figure out where to buy them. So customers are more likely to purchase products from brands that they recognize and trust versus you selling some generic products from China, or you creating your own brand and selling it, but it has no status, it has no credibility, it has no trust, so no one's going to buy it. They're just going to think your product is just some generic thing, because it's not recognized as a brand or a business. So on top of that, it has low marketing costs. Because you're selling brands that are already well known, there's no need to spend heavy money. There's no need to spend heavy capital on marketing and advertising, because the brand itself, the name itself, is already well known, and it's already a significant selling point. You don't have to convince somebody to buy Nike. They already know they want it. They're already looking for it. So that's one of the reasons why it's also, why there's a lot of advantages that come with this type of business model. It has predictable demand. Because you're selling established brands, established brands often have a consistent demand, making it easier to forecast sales and manage inventory. That's another thing you want to keep in mind. This is a brand that's already established. People are already buying it. It's already guaranteed 10,000 sales a month. And if you can jump in and become a seller for that product, then you can get a piece of that 10,000 sales a month, and you can make a lot of money doing this. And you don't have to worry about convincing people to buy your product because it's already established. People already know what it is. It's less risky. Because, while private labeling, when it comes to private labeling, there's always a risk that no one's going to buy your product or your brand because you're not putting in enough marketing, or they just don't understand, your business or your brand or your value as a brand. So it's a lot less riskier for you to just buy products that are already well established, that already have their own established social media accounts, that people already know and trust. And, you're already selling them on platforms like Walmart or Amazon or eBay that are already trusted platforms. So the sales process is going to be seamless, and you're not going to have that many blocks in the way. You're not going to have that many reasons for somebody not to make a purchase because you're using, trusted platforms and you're selling trusted products. So how do you get started when it comes to, selling wholesale? Well, first, you're going to have to create an Amazon Sellers account. Just go through the steps. Go to, look up Amazon Seller Central on, Google, and then you can go ahead and start getting through the steps to create your own account. You're going to want to register your business because you are going to be reaching out to wholesale manufacturers and distributors, and because of that, you're going to have your business license, you're going to have your sales permit, and you're going to have whatever permits you need, depending on the state that you're in. Every state is different. California, I think you need a little bit more permits than, selling in Alabama, than selling in, some other place. So you want to make sure that you do your research and figure out, what are the demands for your specific state when it comes to being able to sell things online, being able to buy wholesale, being able to reach out to distributors and, doing all that stuff that you're going to need to make sure that your business is legit. You're going to need your wholesale license, which, most of these things are free to get. You just got to go ahead and sign up to the government websites. A sales tax permit, like I said, this varies depending on your state. I'm in California, and you do need these permits, so that's why I'm putting them on there. And then you're going to need initial capital. You're going to have to reach out to suppliers and distributors, and you're going to have to negotiate with them, and you're going to have to buy this product in bulk. You're not going to just be buying, one of these products. You're going to be buying a pallet of these products. You're going to be buying, 20, 30, 40, 50 of these products, depending on how many you're going to buy and what your budget is. So you want to make sure you have initial capital saved up. This is not a business model that you can start with little to no money. If you want an e-commerce business model that you can start with little to no money, then look into drop shipping in my other videos. Those business models are also e-commerce related, but they don't require an initial heavy investment or a large investment to get started because of the drop shipping model. So watch those videos if you want to learn more about how that works and learn about another business model that you can start that doesn't require you to have thousands and thousands of dollars. So So when it comes to finding your suppliers, the wholesale model, suppliers are the backbone of your business. The suppliers and the relationships that you make with them is going to be the difference between you being able to get profitable products, being able to get high demand products, and being able to get your product shipped in a reliable and fast time. So there are two types of suppliers you're going to be looking out for. One is going to be the manufacturer, the person that actually produces and the products. Buying directly from the manufacturer can often get you the best prices, but they usually have a higher minimum order of quantity, so that's something you want to keep into consideration. Wholesale distributors, these are, they buy the products in bulk from the manufacturer and they sell them to retailers, usually in smaller quantities. They might have a broader product range, but slightly higher prices than the manufacturers because they are technically the middleman. So you want to kind of keep that into consideration. Now, ideally, it does make sense to buy from the manufacturers, but a lot of the times you're not going to be able to get out. You're not going to be able to reach out to them directly. You're going to have to reach out to a authorized wholesaler or distributor just to get a hold of that specific brand because they don't work with other people like you. They don't work with small people like you, and that's why they have the distributors set up. So something to keep in consideration. So how do you start finding these suppliers, once you find a product that you actually want to sell? Or, how do you start finding suppliers that sell products that you can figure out what you want to sell? So you can do, the classic way is going to be, go to local trade shows. Las Vegas has a bunch of trade shows where you can actually reach out to manufacturers, wholesale distributors. They have a bunch of e-commerce trade shows, Los Angeles, Florida, New York City. Those are some places where you can find some awesome trade shows. But even just check locally. You never know when, what trade shows are popping up in your local city, especially if you live in a big city. But if you don't live in a big city, your other options might be to just use online directories. Websites like Worldwide Brands, SaleHo, ThomasNet list verified wholesales and manufacturers that you can go ahead and reach out, connect with, and really just foster and build that relationship with. Industry magazines and publications are some other places. Many industries have dedicated magazines that feature ads from suppliers. So, that might be another place for you to go ahead and, start finding out, where you can get suppliers. Going on Google and just looking up, suppliers in my area, figuring out what they sell locally because, if you can go to their warehouse and you can actually meet the owners or meet the managers, it's going to give you the ability to create a better relationship, which means that you'll get better deals and, faster shipping times, prioritized order and all that good stuff. So make sure you take that time to, reach out to your local suppliers and manufacturers and see what they have to offer because you might get the best deals locally versus outsourcing on online directories. Do your research and just build those relationships. So a couple of notable supplier directories that you might want to consider as well, depending on where you're located is Wholesale Central, DH Gate, Blue Star Empire, and Worldwide Brands. These are all wholesale directories that are basically websites where you can find out about different manufacturers, different wholesales and distributors, and you can get all their contact information and reach out to them or find their website so you can learn more about what they have to offer and, reach out to them and get some good deals and negotiate and all that good stuff to get started. So you also want to make sure that you're vetting suppliers. Once you've identified a potential supplier, it's essential to vet them to ensure that they're reliable and they're legitimate. Ask for their business license and certificates. Make sure you ask for references or reviews from other clients because, you're going to be sending these people, a couple $1,000, $500, depending on what you buy. And you want to make sure that they're going to do the job right and nobody gets screwed over and you don't have to worry about, additional problems or overcoming more obstacles because you didn't do your diligence and do your research. Tried acting smart right there and just failed miserably, but do your research. It's very important so you don't get screwed over basically. And these are suppliers so you can negotiate with them, believe it or not. If they're a more well established supplier, just like how when you go to a mom and pop shop, you might be able to negotiate certain prices, but when you go to Walmart or Target, you can't, go out there and negotiate the pricing. So, if they're more well established and they're more well known, they may not even listen to any negotiations. But if they're more smaller and they're a local place, then, you might be able to negotiate with them and, figure out how you can get some better deals. So, focus on building up that relationship, before diving into negotiations, build rapport with the supplier, understand their business challenges and goals, and, just let them know that you're human and, you see them and you want to work with them. Be clear about your needs, clearly communicate what you're looking for, discuss pricing, aim for a win-win situation where they don't feel like they're being screwed over, you don't feel like you're being screwed over, everybody wins and everybody gets, a taste of, a piece of the puzzle. Everybody wins. This is a beneficial relationship. Figure out what their minimum order quality is. Remember, all of these suppliers and these distributors and manufacturers that you're going to be reaching out with, they're all going to have a MOQ, which is a minimum order quantity, which means that a certain number of products that you have to buy in order to get it at a specific price point. And, typically it's going to be at least 50 to 100, depending on your suppliers, depending on how big they are. So that's something you want to keep into consideration as well. Maybe if you're a little bit smaller, you might want to reach out to suppliers, and let them know that you're testing the waters for a specific product. So you only want to buy 25 of them. But just keep in mind that, you're probably going to end up paying a lot more versus buying 100 of those units. Like, let's just say if you buy 25 of them, let's go back to the shoe situation where, they're retailed for 100, but you're getting them for 70. If you buy only 20 of them, you might get those shoes for $85. But if you buy 100 of them, you might get them for $60. So that's something you want to keep into consideration as well when it comes to negotiating with your suppliers and figuring out who to work with. Payment terms, sometimes, they may allow you to just, make payments, or they may actually front the product for you, and then you can make payments over time. Other times, most of the time when it comes to, working with a manufacturer or supplier for the first time, they're going to ask for, payment up front, in full, which makes sense because they don't know who you are. But as you start building this relationship and as you start ordering more from them, they might be more lenient towards you, and they might be open to payment programs or, payback laters. So those are things you want to consider as well. And that's why it's extremely important that you actually talk and build a relationship with these suppliers so you can start getting things like that. Shipping and delivery, understanding the shipping costs, the delivery times, and, who bears responsibility for damaged goods during transit. That's also something extremely important that you want to cover as well, especially shipping costs, because it may cost you, $700 to buy a certain amount of, Nike shoes in this example, but it's also going to be another $300 in shipping. So, it's not going to be necessarily $700. It's going to be $1,000 to actually get this order fulfilled and sent to an Amazon warehouse where they can do the FBA. So, you want to keep that into consideration as well. Make sure that you understand all of the factors, all of the pricing and the costs that are going to come with working with this specific manufacturer, this specific supplier, so you can have an idea what your profit margins are going to look like after you pay the supplier, the shipping, and the Amazon fees. So you want to keep that into consideration as well. What are the profit margins look like? Is this worth it? Is it worth all the hassle? And just, work on building that relationship long-term wise, because you are going to be working out with these people. You are going to be working with these people consistently, especially if they have products and, they do a great job. Take time to show your appreciation and just, let them know that you appreciate them, for what they're doing, and, maybe get them some stuff, maybe buy them a gift card, get them a couple of things for Christmas or something, so you can really focus on building that relationship and just, showing your appreciation for working with them. You might get better deals. You might get first dibs on certain products. You might get faster shipping times. There's a lot of things that come with, just getting to know somebody that works for that specific company. So how do you start finding winning products? So you got a supplier. Now you got to start figuring out, well, what's going to sell? What am I going to sell? I found a person to supply the products. Now I need an actual product to sell. So product selection can make or break your Amazon wholesale business, because you want the point of buying wholesale, the point of any type of e-commerce store is you buy a product from somebody else and then you sell it as fast as possible. So you don't want to worry about having items that are just stuck in an Amazon warehouse and you're inquiring fees for, inventory and stuff. So you want to make sure that they're high demand, low competition. Ideally, you want a product that many people are searching for, but not many sellers are offering, which can be a little competitive when it comes to, selling well-established brands, because a lot of people are doing wholesaling. But that doesn't mean that there isn't any, opportunity out there. It doesn't mean that there aren't things that are being overlooked. And it doesn't mean that you still can't make a fuck ton of money doing this. So you want to make sure that the product has good profit margins. Ensure that all costs, production, shipping, Amazon fees, like we talked about, and there is still, after all that, make sure that there's still a healthy profit margin left, that it's actually worth it. $5-10, that might be worth it. Even if you're making $5 profit, but, or $10, let's, for the sake of math, because I'm not that great at it, let's just say that you have a product and you're making $10 profit each sale, but you're selling on average at least 10 of them. Well, guess what? That product's going to be making you $3,000 a month profit. Just that one product, even if it's just $10 profit, and so those are things you want to keep into consideration as well. Like if you're selling 10 a day, at 31 days, that's over $3,000 in profit, for a $10 product. Or even if it's just a $5 product, that's still over $1,500 in profit. And if you do this, with 6 more products, even about $1,500 a month, with 6 different products that are doing $1,500 a month, you're making 6 figures. So, you want to make sure that you understand how this works and really just see the opportunities for what they are right in front of you. Because when you do e-commerce, it's not necessarily just how much I can sell. It's how many I can sell a day is your ideal, goal. If you can get to 10 a day, $10 profit, then you're going to make $100 a day. If you can get to 20 a day, 30 a day, then, $200 a day, $300 a day, all that good stuff to get you to where you need to go. So you want to keep that into consideration as well. So consistent demand, you want to make sure that these products that that there's steady demand throughout the year, rather than just focusing on seasonal products. You can provide, you want to focus on more products that are relevant all year round. Don't get me wrong, seasonal products have their place and they can be very beneficial and profitable, but they're only relevant for the season. So you want to make sure that you focus on the combination of selling products that are generally just sold all year round. The more of a commodity they are, the more money you're going to make. Dish soap, sponges, food items, waters, things like that. Obviously, people drink water every day, so they're going to consistently have to repurchase those products. Dish soap, it's not something they're going to be buying every day, but once a month you're going to have to buy some new soap. Once a month you're going to have to buy a new sponge. Once a month you're going to have to buy whatever it is you're going to need to buy. Whether that's like flour or that's whatever that is. Plastic spoons, plastic forks, things like that. Like those are things that people consistently need. Paper towels, toilet paper. No one knew. One day, the world isn't going to wake up and they're going to stop wiping their ass. People are always going to wipe their butt. People are always going to need toilet paper. People are always going to need paper towels. Those things are always going to be in demand. Dish soap, home essentials, cleaning supplies, all that good stuff is always going to be in demand. So you want to focus on items that are consistently in demand, not just seasonal items. As you start making more profits and you have those 5 items that are consistently selling all year round, then you can start exploring seasonal products and really just, focus on those products, because you can make a fuck ton of money selling seasonal shit too. So you want to make sure you do a little bit of both. So you want to research, you want to leverage research tools. Amazon's best seller list is a great way for you to look at products that are selling really well and kind of figure out what's currently popular right now. Keyword research tools like Jungle Scout or Helium 10 are very powerful platforms that teach you more about certain products and what other sellers in your competition is doing as well. You can track product trends like Google Trends or Trend Hunter, so you can give insights on emerging products trends that are viral right now that people are talking about on social media. Because guess what? If they're talking about it on social media, well, they're going to go to platforms to buy it, and more than likely they're going to go to Amazon, because Amazon is a powerhouse. So that's something you want to keep into consideration as well. And like I said, the importance of building that relationship with your suppliers, because they can give you insights. Suppliers often have a pulse on what sells well. Building a good relationship with them can lead to insights and potential winning products, because they're obviously shipping them out every day. So if somebody, if a lot of people are buying this one product, then it makes sense that it's selling really well. And if they're not sending it to Amazon warehouses and they're doing it for Walmart, they're doing it for eBay or for just other places that are not those platforms, you just reached a gold mine, and you'll never get there without building that relationship with your supplier, so they understand you a little bit more and you have an appreciation for each other. And then, as always, test before you go in. Buy a minimal order. Buy 10 of those products, see how fast they sell. So that way, if you do buy a product and it ends up just sitting there on the shelves, in an Amazon warehouse, then you can just have them send it back to you and it won't cost you that much, or it wouldn't be that much in Amazon fees, so you can just have it sit there until it actually does sell. So you want to make sure you start off with a minimum order, small amount, depending on what the suppliers are willing to work with you, so you can just kind of test the waters for the specific product. But keep in mind, there's a lot of tools like Jungle Scouts and Helium 10 that'll let you, it'll tell you the data, and it'll tell you how often this item is sold, whether it's sold 10 times a day, 20 times a day, and it'll even tell you whether or not certain suppliers are the ones that are selling it the most and all that good stuff. So those products, those research tools, those softwares are going to be a game changer for your business. Keep in mind, the most powerful ones are going to be Jungle Scout and Helium 10, but they're not cheap, but they are worth it. So like we talked about, so you're going to be leveraging the power of established brands. So I'm not going to go over this that much because we've already talked about it a lot in this video, but trust and credibility. Selling products from well-known brands adds credibility to your Amazon store. Customers feel more comfortable purchasing from sellers who offer genuine branded products. So, as a seller, you're going to have your own profile, you're going to have your own reviews, you're going to have all of that stuff. And if you're going to sell well-established brands, then it's going to basically put you in a position where you're going to have more authority, you're going to have more credibility, and you're going to have more trust, because psychologically, people are going to be like, okay, well, if this brand is willing to work with this person, then this guy must be legit. And you're on platforms like Amazon or Walmart or eBay, which already adds a little bit more trust factor as well, because everybody knows that Amazon, they're on top of their game when it comes to customer service and, making sure that they provide the best quality service for their customers. So, same thing basically, but yeah. High conversion rates, you want to make sure that, one of the powerful things that comes with established brands is that they have high conversion rates. Products from recognized brands have a higher conversion rate. Customers already know what to expect in terms of quality and performance, so they're more likely to have a faster purchasing decision when it comes to deciding what item they want to buy from you. Access to brand resources. Now, this is another thing that I love about this as well. Many established brands provide sellers with resources like high quality images, product descriptions, or marketing material. Not only does this ensure consistency across all sales channels, but it also reduces the effort required to create a listing. As opposed to private label, where you actually have to create the illustration, the lifestyle pictures for your specific product, you actually have to have the photo shoot. You don't have to do any of this for these specific brands. All you got to do is just go to Walmart and just steal the images from there. All you got to do is just go to their social media pages and just steal the images from there. So you don't have to worry about making all these crazy brand resources because you already have access to them. And then, like I said, like I had mentioned previously, reduced marketing efforts. Since the brand has already invested in building its image and reputation, you won't need to spend as much money marketing and advertising. The brand name itself is already a significant selling point. So all you have to do is maybe invest in Amazon ads so you can have your listing be the first thing appear. So that way it's going to have an increased chances of somebody buying it. But you don't necessarily have to convince somebody that this brand is quality or it's valuable because it's already seen as that. So one of the huge things, like we had already talked about, is taking advantage of reoccurring purchase products. Commodities, basically. Some products naturally lend themselves to repeated purchases because of their consumer. So let's see. Actually, I can't even read this one. Usually I have these things on by heart. Okay. So some products naturally lend themselves to repeatable. Some products naturally lend themselves to repeat purchases because of. Okay, I don't know why that's. Trying to read it correctly, but anyways, basically you want to focus on selling products. Like I had already talked about this too, but I'm just going to repeat it a little bit more in details. You want to focus on selling products that are going to be repeatedly purchased, products that people are going to consistently need to replace, commodities that are important, like we talked about toilet paper and stuff. So a couple examples of this would be beauty and personal care, skincare products, shampoos, makeups, face washes. Those are things that people are going to buy, but they're going to more likely be used up within the end of the month. So they're going to consistently rebuying those stuff. They're going to consistently rebuy those products. And Amazon makes it easy for you to basically just rebuy the same product with 2 or 3 clicks of a button. So it just makes it more convenient. And when you focus on these products, you're going to have higher chances of reoccurring profits from the same person because they're going to be replacing their items as they run out. Grocery and gourmet foods, coffee pods, specialty teas, spices, things like that are going to be something that it's not necessarily, it's food, but it's not crazy food that has expiration dates. You can still sell these for, you can still have them in inventory for a long time without expiring. Health and household items, vitamins, supplements, cleaning supplies. Vitamins are huge when it comes to Amazon. Just look it up. Any vitamin you want, you will find 20 million different brands, specifically private label brands, because private label vitamins seem to perform really well in that type of business model. But pet supplies, pet foods, treats, and toys. Obviously treats because, pets are going to be consistently doing treats. Baby stuff, I don't know why it's not in there, but now when it comes to selling baby stuff and certain foods, you do have to build that relationship with Amazon before they will basically unblock you from being able to sell that, because those are hazardous materials and Amazon doesn't know you yet, so you really have to sell a couple other things that are more safer and easier to sell before you can really sell certain things like baby supplies or food or gourmet foods or pet supplies. Like those are things that can actually hurt somebody or hurt a person's pet. So you need to kind of prove to Amazon that you're not selling fake stuff, you're not selling poisonous things. And the way you do that is by selling more things that are not that, like whatever they let you sell to start off with, doing that for a few months, and then as you build that trust, eventually they'll let you jump into these items which are extremely valuable and have high profit margins. Baby supplies, I mean, people are always having kids, and people are not going to stop having kids. Babies shit like 30 times a day. So if you can, start selling diapers, well, guess what? You're going to make a lot of money doing that, because that same person is probably going to buy from you, 3 or 4 times a month. And, there's new parents, kids, there's hundreds of kids being born there's hundreds of babies being born every day. So you're not going to be, it's not going to be short in demand, for baby supplies. Office supplies, printer, ink, paper, stationery items. Printer, ink, printers, they print, they need to be refilled. Businesses go through printer ink like crazy, so they're consistently needing to replace that. Paper, same situation. Businesses go through that like crazy. Offices go through that like crazy. Schools go through that like crazy, so they consistently need to replenish. They consistently need to replenish those things. So those are some examples of recurring. Sorry, I'm having all kinds of things right now in this video. So those are some examples of recurring purchase products that will sell very well and have potential to have recurring purchases from the same person. The benefits of selling recurring purchases is going to be steady revenue, because you know it's going to be consistent, because you know less people are likely going to return those products. It's going to ensure a more consistent revenue because people are going to be, you know, replacing it. You know, Rebecca from, you know, Arkansas is going to buy her, you know, a makeup remover cream every month as usual, because every month she always runs out on the 30th, you know, because that makeup removal only comes with 15-20 days worth of, you know, removal. So, you know, in 30 days she's going to go through that because she works every day and she gets her makeup done, you know, just to kind of give you an example. Customer loyalty. You know, these products offer an opportunity to build strong customer loyalty, as consumers often stick to brands they trust and for repeated business. Like I said, Amazon, Walmart, and a lot of these companies, these platforms, make it easier for customers to just repeat the purchase from the same seller with a couple clicks of a button, which is extremely convenient. It also allows you to do like subscription models. You know, I don't know if you guys know this, but Amazon and Walmart do have subscription models where you can sign up, you know, for specific products, and you can have them come reoccurring every 30 days, every 60 days, every 90 days, you know, depending on what your settings are. So that's something that can be very, you know, beneficial for you as well. Predictable inventory management. You know, with consistent demand, it's easy for you to predict inventory needs and management stock levels. You know, if you find a product that's consistently selling, you know, eventually after a few months, you know that you're gonna have to buy 1,000 products of that unit each month. You know that it's guaranteed to sell. You know that the profits are gonna be this or that, which allows you to, you know, start figuring out how to expand your business more, or just start figuring out how to pull from your profits, which is gonna be a lot more beneficial for you. Like we talked about, subscription models, loyalty programs, you know, these are strategies that you can maximize repeat business. You know, implementing some kind of loyalty program that rewards customers for repeated business is always going to be something cool. You know, you can even create your one on this, because I don't think Amazon really does this, but they do have the subscription models, but I don't think they do a loyalty program. But you can create a loyalty program that is a third-party program that basically, if somebody, you know, buys from your Amazon store, you'll send them a link that says that if you buy this product 5 more times, you'll get the 6th one free, and then you just give them the, you know, you just give them the discount, you just give them the promo, you know, after they buy it 5 times, that gives them the Amazon product for them for free. Yes, you might miss out on the profit for that one product, but you're gonna sell six products. You know, like instead of selling one, you sold 6 of them, and yeah, you had to give up one, but who gives a fuck, because you just sold 6 of them, you know, to the same person. Do this, you know, 10 more times, and guess what? You just sold 60 products, you know, and all you had to do was give up 6, you know, or 10, you know, my bad. But yeah, you know, understand how important this is, and how this really just helps with the psychology of selling and increases your chances of making more and more money. So what are the best selling products? You know, how do you figure out what the best selling products? So you want to focus on best sellers because they're consistently in demand. You know, they have reduced risk, since the inventory of the product is already high in sales volume. You have a less likely chance of, you know, those products being stuck in a warehouse, and they have high visibility. You know, products that rank as best sellers often appear at the top of Amazon research results, leading to increased visibility and potential sales. So that's another thing you want to keep into consideration as well. You know, hold up, guys. We have the local ice cream truck that comes around here. It's like winter. I don't even know why they're coming to this area anymore. But Amazon best sellers is another great way. Like we talked about, you know, that's just check out those listings. You know, check out what they have to offer, so you can kind of see what products are selling the best, so you can kind of get an idea or inspiration on what you can jump on as far as listing goes. Categories for best sellers. Categories. So Amazon does have a best sellers ranking that you can actually look at. It's the BSR, but then they also have categories within their best sellers ranking list that is specific. So you can dive deep into specific categories to identify top selling products for that category. For instance, if you're interested in selling beauty category, explore the subcategories like skincare, makeup, and hair care to find the best sellers within those subcategories, which can just reduce the competition and help you figure out what's really selling the most as a product or as a brand. And then seasonal sellers. You know, best-selling products, there's a lot of really good best-selling products that are seasonal products because they're relevant to that season. You know, during Christmas, people are going to buy Christmas stuff. They're going to buy lights. They're going to buy things for their trees. They're going to buy stockings. They're going to buy more gifts in general because it's the gift of giving. During Thanksgiving, people are going to buy more fall stuff. They're going to buy more Thanksgiving-related things. You know, during July, people are going to buy more patriotic stuff. People are going to buy more things that, you know, that has to do with I Love America, that has to do with, you know, patriotism, you know, like, so you want to make sure that you take advantage of those seasons, because during those seasons, they're going to have certain items that are going to fluctuate in increased demand, and it can be an opportunity for you to jump in for 2 or 3 months and make a bunch of money and then jump back out and then kind of go back to your steady income. So listing your product. So that's something you're gonna have to keep in consideration as well. So when it comes to selling on Amazon, there's two essential things that you have to do when it comes to listing products. You're either gonna jump on an existing listing or you're gonna create a whole new listing for your product. Now, 90% of the time, you're gonna have to jump on existing listings because when it comes to wholesaling, there's a pretty good chance that somebody's already selling what you have to offer, which is not necessarily a bad thing because Amazon has a rotation with the buy box, which is basically whenever you go on an Amazon website and you see the buy box, essentially what it is it's the yellow box that says add to cart. Now, what people don't realize is that essentially sellers have to compete for that. So if you're selling, let's just say if you're selling Johnson & Johnson's baby lotion, right? And there are 5 sellers on that specific account. Now, what you're going to have to do as somebody who joins this listing is you're going to have to compete with those 5 sellers to basically be the first person listed as a seller on Amazon. So actually, let me show you an example because it'll actually make more sense as we do that. So give me 1 second. Okay, so I wanted to show you really quickly the Amazon best sellers list so you can have a better understanding on how to navigate and so you can find these products and just kind of figure out how to read these listings so you have a better understanding. So this is going to be the Amazon best sellers list. All I did was go on Google and look up Amazon best sellers list and it came up right here. So it's going to give you an idea of what are the top ranking best sellers and it's going to go by category. Now, so what you want to do is you want to just go through the sub niches and figure out what is more selling. So let's go an example. Best sellers in home and kitchen. So let's go ahead and click on the home and kitchen area. So we're at the home and kitchen area. Now, this is a subcategory. This is a subcategory in the best sellers list. Now, there's more subcategories in that as well. So we're at home and kitchen, and now there's more subcategories. We have bath, we have bedding, we have cleaning supplies, we have furniture. But as you can see, these are all the products that are selling well. And as you can see as well, they have a lot of reviews, which means that this product right here has 500,000 views. Now, I guarantee you that with those 500,000 views, it has at least 1 million sales, at least on the minimum, maybe even 2 million sales, because these are the people that actually took the time to leave a review, not necessarily just make the purchase. So these people are selling a lot more than just that that 250,000 sales or almost 300,000 sales. So yeah, so let's go ahead and jump in again. So we're gonna pick another sub niche, which is gonna be bedding. Jump into that, bedding, and guess what? There's another sub niche within this sub niche. So you can just kind of keep going through these sub niches to kind of figure out, get more specific so you can kind of figure out what has less competition. So we're in bedding, and now let's just go to air mattresses and accessories. Boom, air mattresses and accessories. So, and then even within that, it even has a small little sub niche, which will be air mattresses and pumps. So it's up to you to really just kind of use this type of method to navigate through the best sellers list and figure out, how much competition these products have. But I'm not going to lie, just off the back, I'm telling you right now, bestseller products are going to have a lot of competition. But even if they have a lot of competition, there's still going to be a lot of room for everybody to eat because this item is selling, 100,000 items a month, or 100,000 items a day or whatever it is that they're selling. Obviously, this specific item that we're looking at right now, this one, they've sold at least over 100,000 items. So even if 10 people are selling or 20 people are selling this item, if they're getting, distributed evenly through the Amazon seller, the buy box, then, they're still going to be making, at least $10,000 a month profit, at least, probably even $100,000, a year selling this one product, even if 20 people are selling it because it just sells so fast. So let's go ahead and dive deep and jump into this specific one right here. So for this specific one right here, as you guys can see, this is a highly rated product. It is an Amazon bestseller. Over 10,000 people bought this in the past month. So you want to go ahead and check out those statistics so you can get an idea how much this is selling. Obviously, this product is selling a lot. And so let's go ahead and check it out. So this is the buy box right here, just so if you weren't aware. This is the buy box right here. It's the first one that actually has the add to cart and buy now option. Now, the person that owns the buy box right now is going to be Amazon right here because, well, Amazon is Amazon and they do what they do. But, there's also a lot of people under here. So as you can see, there's also people that are selling this for used right here. But if we were to scroll down a little bit, we can actually see the additional sellers that are selling this product. So if you click on this option right here, there is actually 23 other people that are selling this product. And it looks like most of them are selling them used because, people can't sell their used items. But they're also new ones. So these are other people as well. So here we go right here. So these are other sellers that are competing for the buying box. And essentially what the goal is to be ranked to the top right here. And the way you win the buy box is essentially making sure you provide quality customer service, you provide the best shipping time, you get as many reviews as possible, and based off those criteria is basically going to have Amazon determine whether or not they want you to push you as a seller. Now, keep in mind too is that Amazon does like to be fair to their sellers, so they are going to kind of basically kind of shift each seller and give everybody the opportunity to make a sale, especially since this is a product that sells a lot of. But the people that have the best stats on their Amazon account, that have the healthiest, status, that have the most happiest customers, are always going to be prioritized, and they're going to get the most time in the buy box. So it is extremely important that you focus on, providing the best service for your customers. Making sure you have the best shipping time, making sure that you sell a quality product, making sure that you respond fast to any questions they may have, making sure that you handle the returns as fast as possible. Like, all of that stuff is going to determine whether Amazon trusts you, which is going to open the possibility for you to sell more items and, compete for the buy box a lot more efficiently. But also, I just want to show you guys really quickly. So as you guys can see, these are some sellers. But if you wanted to navigate this a little bit more and learn more about the sellers, you can actually go ahead and click on the seller's account right here. And you can see what they have to offer. So this is the seller right there, Triple Net Pricing Inc. And you can actually see what products they sell. So here we go. This is some more information about them. You can kind of get an idea as far as how they're performing. It looks like they're doing pretty good. They did have this bad review right here, but then you can go ahead and go, let's see, right over here, and you can see all of their products. Now, if they're a successful wholesaler, then you have, now this is called Amazon sniping, where essentially what you're doing is you're looking at your competition and you're basically seeing what they have to offer, what they're selling, and you're gonna just see if there's room for them to jump in there and basically, make some money doing this, make some money jumping on their listings, basically, because they're already performing really well and they're already a successful wholesaler. So, you might learn a lot from just studying their account. I'm also mind blown that this MetaQuest was sold 100,000 times in the past month. That's a lot of dinero. That's a lot of money that this person is making. So you want to kind of, look at all these things. You want to keep this in consideration. This person looks like they capitalize on video games and they're making a lot of money doing it. So, or most likely gadgets in general, but this is a perfect example on how you can leverage Amazon's best seller list to check out what's selling the most, how you can look at other Amazon sellers and see what they're doing, look at the buy box, see how people are competing for the buy box, look at what these sellers are doing right to see how they're getting ranked better and how they're able to make a lot of sales with the buy box, and really just take time to understand what these guys are doing right so you can copy them and implement it for your own business model. So I just wanted to kind of show you guys that really quick. Now let's go ahead and jump back to the presentation. So now that you have a better understanding on how the buy box works and how it looks like when it comes to navigating the best sellers list and going through the subcategories and basically sniping specific sellers and kind of figuring out what they're doing and studying their accounts and seeing what they're selling. Now that you have a better understanding of that, back to what we were talking about as far as joining existing listings. So like I talked about earlier, you want to make sure that you're on top of, the way you're handling your Amazon business and the customer experience that you're giving to your customers on Amazon, because that's going to prioritize your listings. That's going to prioritize your ability to make more sales as a seller. Now, sometimes, you're not able to join a listing because it doesn't exist. You're selling it, you got lucky and, you found the golden egg and you're selling a product that nobody else is selling, but it's going to sell good because you've done your research. Well, then now you're going to have to create your new listing. And so what you're going to do is you're going to have to create a listing. You're going to have to put all the information. You're going to have to do all the copy. You're going to have to do the description. You're going to have to upload your own photos. You're going to have to do all that stuff. Now, the beauty about this is you're already selling a product that's being sold somewhere else. So all you have to do, if you're going to list something on Amazon, go to Walmart and just steal the copy, just steal the information from the Walmart page, from the Target page, from the eBay page, from the actual brand's website page, and just throw that in the listing and you're going to be good to go. That's the beauty of selling wholesale. That's the beauty of selling established brands, is that you don't have to create up your own marketing. All you gotta do is just look for their marketing for the specific product by looking it up on Google and just steal all that information and put it on your website, put it on your Amazon store, put it as your listing, and you're good to go. So that's one of the benefits that's going to come with that as well. The chances of you creating a listing is going to be pretty slim, but it can happen, and if it does happen, that's the best way to handle it, as far as when it comes to creating the listing and optimizing it for the best of its ability with minimal effort. Just copy and steal what the brand is already doing on other listings and other websites. So competing for sales listing, the Amazon buy box, like we talked about, the buy box is a white box on the right side of the product detail page where I showed you guys, where customers can add items to their cart. While multiple sellers may offer the same products, only one wins the buy box at a time. Winning the buy box increases the chances of making sales since most customers use it to make their purchases. Like I said, even if you were to just look at yourself, whenever you buy something from Amazon, you just click the buy box. You just click add to cart. You don't go through the other sellers and look at the different price points. Nobody ever does that. 90% of the people don't do that. Sure, there might be a few people that do it, but the chances are they're not going to do it. They're just going to buy from the Amazon buy box. So you want to make sure that you're very competitive with this. And the way you can compete is, besides giving the best possible customer service that you can give them, is you want to have competitive pricing. Like we saw in the example, the person that had the best pricing was the person that we were to see first on the buy box. You want to make sure you have competitive pricing where it actually makes sense, where you're actually still going to have profit margins. You want to make sure you have fast and reliable shipping, which is why it's extremely important that you do Amazon FBA instead of FBM. You want to make sure that you have a good seller rating and performance metrics. Like I said, give the best possible customer service possible, because that's going to increase the chances of Amazon trusting you and giving you more possibility for sales. Now, a couple things you want to do when it comes to strategies that you can do to compete effectively is, you want to do dynamic pricing. You want to use repricing tools to adjust your prices based on competitor price and demand. So they actually have softwares that you can buy that'll actually automatically change the pricing of your buy box based off what your competition is doing. So you can always have the best possible pricing and increase your chances of, getting that buy box. Now, I also just want to keep you guys, when it comes to competition, just keep into consideration that you're selling a product that already sells very fast. It's already a trusted, and you're already on a platform, Amazon.com, that people love and trust. So you are going to be competing, but there's still going to be a pretty good chance for you to make some good money. But you just got to do your research. Just got to do your research and make sure that there's that space. But if these products are already selling a lot, like we saw, there was 20 people on that listing. Like, they're on that listing because they're making money. They would be they wouldn't be on there if they weren't making any money. So you want to kind of keep that into consideration as well. That you do want to practice these things. You want to make sure that you practice strategies to compete effectively and efficiently. But at the same time, you want to make sure that it's worth all this effort. If not, then just kind of look for another product. But like I said, there always is going to be opportunity for you to make a sale. It just may not be right away. You might jump on a listing for a product that's selling really well, but you may not make the sale until 2 or 3 weeks from your listing because you're not prioritizing, shipping, seller rating, performance, and pricing, or you're not competing with them for the pricing, So you want to also make sure you improve your order fulfillment, focus on FBA, not FBM. You want to enhance your customer services. You can also use softwares that can actually automate certain processes, or you can hire a VA to make things easier. If you go down the Amazon FBA route, they do the returns and all that good stuff for you. So, that's going to increase the chances of just better customer service and less people leaving negative reviews because, FBA you do have to pay for that, and it could be kind of expensive. You could be paying as much as $10 or $15 each product, but it's basically going to set you up for passive income because all you have to do is just send the product to the warehouse, and then they will take over the entire order. They will handle the shipping, they will handle the fulfillment, they will handle the returns, they will handle the refunds, they will handle everything. So it is kind of worth it, as you start adding more products and you start selling more and more things. Because it might be decreased profit margins, but it's just less stress and less work for you as a business owner. So you want to keep that into consideration as well. And offering bundles and kits, offering bundles, subscriptions, discounts is a great way for you to basically compete with your competition while being able to get those recurring purchases. So that's something you want to keep into consideration as well. And then just monitoring your competition. Using softwares that are gonna let you see what they're doing and basically implement and copy them to make sure you're staying up to date with the latest trends and you're staying up to date with, your competition to make sure that everybody is competing in the best possible way. You're competing in the best possible way. I'm sorry, not everybody, but you. So those are things you want to keep into consideration as well when it comes to competing for sales and listings. Now, ideally, the goal is to become a top seller. If you become a top seller on Amazon, then you're going to be making a lot of money. Amazon's going to trust you. When you become a top seller, basically, Amazon is saying that they trust you and they will give you a lot of sales because you took that time to really build that trust. So you want to make sure that you take time to do this. Now, you want to, the best ways to become a top seller is your order defect rate, your ODR, which is measured the percentage of orders with defects, negative feedback, A through Z guarantee claims, and chargebacks. You want to keep those as low as possible, because the more returns you have, the more negative feedback you have, the more it's going to show Amazon that you're not taking it serious, or they're going to see you as like a scammer or someone who's just not reaching the standard that Amazon has for themselves, which means that they're not going to want to make you, they're not going to increase the chances of you being able to, they're not going to increase the chances of you making more sales, because you're not representing Amazon in the best possible way. So you want to make sure that you're on top of your order defect rate, your pre-fulfillment cancellation rate, which is the rate at which you cancel orders before shipping them. Late shipment rates, order shipment rates are all something that can affect with your ranking and your key metrics. Now, if you're doing Amazon FBA, then this won't be an issue, because Amazon's going to be on top of that. And if they make mistakes, it's their fault, not yours. But if you are doing FBM, where you're fulfilling all the shipping, then this is extremely important and can have your Amazon shut down if you don't take it serious. Now, I also want to keep into consideration that if you fuck up with Amazon, and the number one thing that you can do to get your store closed is having a high order defect rate, or having people say that you're selling fake products, fake brands. If you get flagged for selling fake brands, they will close your store in a heartbeat. So you want to make sure that you're reaching out to suppliers that are going to provide good brands, that are going to provide quality products, and are going to make sure that the legitimacy of those brands is real. So if the pricing for a certain product is too good to be true, then it probably is. Do your research. You're an entrepreneur. Don't just throw your money at things. Do your research to make sure that you find the right suppliers, because it can be life or death for your business, or for your store, or for the platform of Amazon. So you want to make sure that you prioritize these things. And on top of that, you also want to make sure that you don't get your store closed, because if Amazon closes your store, you get one chance. And if you fuck up that one chance, your store will be permanently closed, because you cannot open up a seller account without your social. So everybody only has one social, unless you do something to get a new one, which is really, really, really hard. So you don't want to fuck up the opportunities that come with selling on Amazon, because then you're going to miss out on one of the world's leading e-commerce platforms that makes billions of dollars a month. And that's an opportunity for everybody to be a part of. You don't want to fuck up the chances with that by being cheap, or taking shortcuts, or not, taking your business serious. So here are the strategies to become a top seller. Consistent quality, ensure the products you sell have the highest quality. Obviously, that's going to be taken care of if you sell a well-established brand and you reach out to suppliers that are legit. Effective fulfillment, obviously that can also be taken care of if you do FBA. But if you do FBM, where you're fulfilling the orders yourself, then you got to be on top of that. Customer service, responding to customer inquiries promptly and addressing any issues or concerns that they may have. A portion of that can be taken care of if you do the FBA route, but you still have to have some kind of customer service as well to respond to certain questions or any inquiries. Solicit feedback, encouraging satisfied customers to leave feedback. As always, like I say in all these videos, the number one thing that's going to help your business and provide the trust and social proof needed is going to be getting reviews and getting that feedback from your customers. So the more reviews that you can get that are positive on your Amazon account, the more chances you have of becoming a top seller. And just staying informed, regularly checking Amazon seller guides and updates. Being compliant reduces the risk of account suspension and penalties. So just, staying informed and making sure that you're doing everything and you're, keeping up to date with what Amazon is asking for you as a seller, and handling negative feedback in a positive way. If somebody leaves a negative review, you respond professional. You don't let your emotions get to it. You respond in a professional and logical way that is going to make sure that the customer is happy. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, the customer is not necessarily always right, but when it comes to Amazon, the customer is always right. That's something you need to keep into consideration. If you want to sell your own shit on Shopify, on your own e-commerce website, on your own platform that you make on social media, then do whatever the fuck you want. But when it comes to selling on Amazon, on Walmart, the customer is always fucking right. So you make sure that you take care of them. Honestly, I hate to say it, but it's just a fact. Take care of your fucking customers, because they will make or break you. So now another thing I want to jump into is that you actually have the ability to market your products on Amazon. Amazon does have the ability to do ad campaigns, and it could be very beneficial for you as you're making profits. It could be a very beneficial thing for you to do as you start making profits, to reinvest so you can grow your business even more and you can increase your profitability. So organic visibility is the number one thing that you should be practicing. Now, this really is more focused on people that create their own listings. If you're jumping on an existing listing, then you're already going to have that organic visibility. You're already going to have that ranking, especially if it's a bestseller. So that's something that kind of to keep in consideration as well. One of the benefits that do come with jumping on existing listings, one of the few benefits that come with that. Now, Amazon advertising platforms, like I talked about, Amazon does have a platform. I believe it's called Amazon Advertising. Pretty straightforward. Now, just take advantage of just paid for pay ads. Now, when you pay for paid ads, essentially what you're going to do is whenever you go on Amazon, go to Amazon next time so you can kind of see this example. I should have covered it when I was showing you guys, but basically whenever you look up a specific item, there's going to be a list of items that show up at the top, the highest ranking, and they're going to be promoted items. And essentially what that is that's Amazon advertising. Is you're basically going to pay so that when people look up, keywords that are about your product is going to be one of the first items that they see, which is going to increase the chances of them buying your product. Because the truth is that like 80-70% of the traffic goes to the first page on Amazon. So if you're in the second or third page, the chances of you getting sales they're still possible, but they're going to be pretty slim because all of the traffic is going to be going to the top ranking products. Lightning deals and promotions. Lightning deals are great ways to get those limited lightning deals, such as limited number of discounts that are available or having a certain time frame to buy a product, can be a great way for you to increase your profitability just really quickly. Like let's just say you want to get your increased sales for the weekend. You can do a 3-day lightning deal where normally this product is $100, but you're selling it for $75. And yeah, you might have a decrease in profit, but you're going to have an increase in overall sales, which is still going to be more profit. So at the end of the day, that's going to be what's important. Promotions. Offering discounts such as buy one get one free, percentage off, or a set amount for certain subscription models, or just in general, like as a first time purchase, like you can give them that promo deal. Or if let's just say someone makes a purchase from you, then what you can do to increase, having them buy it again, you can send them a quick little promo email that gives them a discount for like 15% off the next order that is exclusive to somebody who purchased in the past. So that way, you can make more money with that same customer. So that's something you want to keep into consideration as well. Now, considerations when it comes to marketing your products is you want to make sure that you have the budget for it. You want to make sure that it's not eating into your profits too much. As an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you're going to have to take from your profits and reinvest them to grow your business. But you don't want to be reinvesting every single thing. You want to have some room for profit margins. So that way you can just take home something for your efforts. You want to make sure that the margins are good. Wholesaling typically operates with thinner margins compared to private label. So you want to ensure that the cost of advertising doesn't erode your profits like I just talked about it. You want to make sure you have the budget and you have the margins for it where it makes sense and you're going to make a profit. You want to make sure that the competition isn't too much. If you're selling a high competitive item, advertising might be necessary to get visibility because there's a bunch of people selling on a specific product. If you have 30 people selling on a listing, if you invest in advertising, then you can get your specific buy box to be one of the first ranked, which will show up first, which is going to increase your chances of making more sales. So that's something you also want to keep in consideration as well. Now, what are some possible challenges that you may have to overcome as a seller on Amazon? So one of the big things is going to be intense competition. With millions of sellers on Amazon, the competition is fierce. Standing out and gaining a competitive edge can be quite challenging for people selling on Amazon, but the solution is just differentiating your products, offering bundles, and focusing on niches with less competition, regularly analyzing your competitor strategies and adjusting accordingly, taking advantage of the softwares and doing your research to make sure that you have the best possible pricing. Account suspension, like I said, that can happen. Amazon does have strict policies and violations can lead to account suspension. So the solution for this is basically staying updated with Amazon's guidelines, attending Amazon sellers training to make sure you know what you're doing, and promptly addressing any issues raised by Amazon in a timely manner. Timely manner is the important part. Inventory management issues, overstocking leads to high storage fees with stock out. Okay. So, you want to keep sure, I'm sorry, I got tongue-tied. So inventory management fees, you want to make sure that you avoid overstocking so you're not paying too many inventory fees or storage fees. And then, you want to avoid, being out of stock, during times where, your sales are being, they're up, So you want to make sure that you don't lose any sales by not keeping track of inventory and not replenishing as, the sales are going out the door. The solution is just use inventory management software. There's a bunch of different ones. Amazon even has their own management software with the Seller Central account. So, you want to make sure you have that set up. Set up reorder points, as far as, if you get it to a certain extent, if you get to a certain inventory level, then you know automatically you're gonna have to, you know, go ahead and buy some new products. And then forecast the demand of products based on historical sales. As you start selling more, you're gonna have a better idea as far as when you need to replenish certain items in what time frame. So just keep track of that, and make sure that you're on top of doing that when it's necessary. Negative reviews, negative reviews can impact sales and brand reputation as well. So you want to make sure that you address customers' concerns promptly. You want to offer solutions for your customers' concerns, and you want to encourage satisfied customers to leave as many positive reviews as possible. We already talked about why that's extremely important. High advertising costs can be another thing that, your marketing is just eating your profits, it's just eating your money, so PPC challenges, PPC campaigns, pay-per-click campaigns can become expensive, especially with competitive keywords. So the solution is just to optimize your ad campaigns. It might be worth paying somebody and outsourcing somebody to do the ads for you, because they have specialty, they've specialized in ads. So that you're gonna get the best bang for your buck, and that your ads are gonna be optimized to compete with as much competition as possible. So that might be worth investing in. Monitor the advertisement cost of your sales, and adjust your bids accordingly to make sure that you're just not throwing your money without getting any results or without getting any increase in sales. So what are the best softwares that you can use? So the best softwares when it comes to product research and sourcing is going to always be, well, I don't know about always be, but it's going to be Jungle Scout and Helium 10. These are the big boys in the game, and they offer so many different services within their software. So, they're kind of a one-stop shop when it comes to selling on Amazon. So definitely look into them. One of the big boys is Helium 10. Now, these are not cheap softwares, but you can make a lot of fucking money with them. So it is worth the investment once you learn how to use them. Inventory Management, Restock Pro, Inventory Lab will help forecast inventory needs and decide what you need to reorder, and just help you, manage with your suppliers. You can connect them together if you needed to do that. Repricing tools, so you can make sure that you compete with that buy box. Repricer Express and BQL are great, softwares that automatically adjust your pricing for your products based on market trends and your competitors' activity. Feedback and Review Management. Feedback Wiz and Feedback 5 are great ways to basically have automation set up where you will send email campaigns to request reviews and feedback from customers that bought from your products, that bought from your specific store. That's another way for you to increase, your ranking overall and become a top seller. And compliance and tax management, TaxJar and Alvara are some great resources that you can use to have a better understanding of how you're going to do taxes, how you're going to do your profitability, how you're going to be reporting and filing as an Amazon seller. So those are some great things that you want to look at, and they're free resources. So that way you have a better understanding on what the technical sales and the technical profitability and all that good stuff is when it comes to taxes. So yeah, those are some great softwares to use. But yeah, guys, my final thoughts with that is, make sure you stay up to date with the current trends. Make sure you do your research and you compete with your competitors. Focus on the customer. The customer is always right when it comes to selling on Amazon. Make sure that you're, you focus on giving the best possible customer experience possible. Prioritize product quality, timely deliveries, and responsive customer service in a timely manner. A happy customer obviously translates to repeated business and positive reviews, so you want to prioritize that as much as possible. Embrace technology. Like I said, guys, those different softwares can automate certain processes and make it even better to increase your ranking and just keep it easier to compete with compete with your competition, and just optimize certain profiles, optimize certain listings and all that good stuff, optimize your ads. And then continuously learn. Amazon is a powerhouse in the game and is consistently changing and staying up to date with the current trends. So you want to make sure that you become a lifelong learner when it comes to just having any business that is connected with the digital revolution. Specifically Amazon, because these platforms are always changing. Amazon has made some dramatic changes with their policies in the past. So you want to make sure you stay up to date with that stuff and make sure that you don't do anything to negatively impact your Amazon accounts. But yeah, guys, as always, this is an amazing business model. I'm excited to see you guys jump into this and learn more about how you can make money selling on Amazon, which is a powerhouse in the e-commerce game. As always, guys, I believe in you. Keep your head up. Overcome those challenges as they will come, because entrepreneurship is all about solving problems and growing as an individual and challenging yourself and taking risks. But understand that as you go through this journey, as you go through the process, you will become an amazing person. And as you solve and overcome certain problems, you will become better equipped to find success and get to 6 figures. You guys got this. I believe in you. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you in the next video.